kicked? He got kicked off again? What the crap is going on here? What the crap? This guy, he can't even stay live on YouTube. He'll never make it on YouTube. He can't even do an hour without staying live. What is up with that, YouTube? I'm trying to do a live video here and you won't even let me stay live. What's going down? I don't understand. I was telling this story about my wife and her marijuana plants. I was trying to explain why, how we got the story of the fiance. People wanted to know how we got the story of the fiance, the mom who went missing, the fiance who's behind bars. I'm trying to tell this so you can understand how Kelsey worked. Kelsey comes from a very religious family. I too come from a very religious family. Kelsey lived in Woodland Park. I too live in Woodland Park. Kelsey lived on my block. I live on my block too. That gets you caught up from the other video. You can watch the other video and you'll be caught up to right here. I talked a lot about Patrick. Now I'm going to talk about Kelsey. I got to the point where I was telling the story about my wife and her marijuana plants to explain Kelsey's relationship with her own family. There are things you don't tell your parents out of respect. There are things you don't tell your family out of respect. I do this. Whether or not you do it, I don't know. We were going on vacation, and my mom and dad were coming up to watch my beautiful kids, and we love when the grandparents get to see the kids and stuff. So they were going to be up here, and my wife had tomato plants growing out back. We're going to call them tomato plants from now on, because that's what we did. We called them tomato plants, and we told my dad, "Hey, John, don't worry about the tomato plants. Zane's going to water the tomato plants." Well, if you know the stories of my dad that I've told, you understand my dad was a federal drug agent in the U.S. My dad has busted people from the Mexican border to the Canadian border and all the way in between, okay? And so halfway through our vacation, I get a text from my dad. "Hey, Michael, your tomato plants are looking good." Those aren't my tomato plants, Dad. Those are Nikki's tomato plants. Those are Mrs. Underground's tomato plants. Those are not my tomato plants. And so you have to understand, sometimes when you have conversations with your parents, you might not tell the whole truth. And so the way we got the story of the fiance is Kelsey had been telling Mom, "Yeah, he's my fiance. Yeah, he's my fiance." And this is why Mom came out in the first press conference and gave us about the most erroneous information we got from Mom. And that was, Patrick, her fiance. Patrick was not her fiance. They hadn't been together for years, maybe a year. And I don't know this because of anything other than understanding what was happening. I mean, Patrick has obviously been a player. Oh, damn, he's a 30-year-old man who lived with his mom, who had multiple girlfriends. Some would say he's a player. Some would say he's I don't know. But I do know he's a monster. I do know that. He will never be just a dad to me. Like the first court case when I was standing across from him, it was just like, that could be just another dad. I know a lot of people that have sat in those chairs that weren't guilty of anything. That could just be another dad. But the stories that's being told now, the stories that are being told from around the country, meanwhile, in that first press conference, people, oh my gosh. No. We're dealing with a real monster. For all intents and purposes, like a Beauty and the Beast. I don't know who the Beast is. KK. Patrick. The lawyers. I know who the Beauty was. I don't know. We went to the second press conference. We've been to the third press conference. We went to the first court hearing. We went to the second court hearing. We'll be at the next court hearing. I'm not in this for the views, the likes, the subscription, the t-shirt sales. Not in it for any of that. I'm a dad with the phone that's taking you on the adventure of my own life. And so when people get all pissy and tell me this, that, and the other, that I'm this, that, and the other, and then they tell me I have been accused of theft, I have been accused of murder, and I have been accused of the most heinous acts anyone could ever do. By trolls, by YouTube trolls. You guys know them, you find them, you see them. I want you to know. You heard it from me. Not from anyone else, not from a keyboard warrior, not from a type. I live here. I do. Right here. Right here. Water guy came by earlier. You know, I live here. This is why I'm involved in the Kelsey case. I'm going to bring you firsthand, never before seen stuff. Nobody else can do that. I invite them to come. If you see me, point me out. Y'all stop me. Y'all say something to me. Okay? I'm just a dad with a phone. I know all the best places to eat in town. I know all the best restaurants. I know all the best business owners. I know all the best politicians. I know the best homeless people. So that's how I'm connected to the Kelsey case. That's what I'm going to bring you. I'm not going to bring you facts. If you're trying to get the greatest fact from law enforcement, I made that mistake already, and I've been hammered by law enforcement. They've literally been probably trolling me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not anything like that. I'm simply saying. I got a plea deal I got to sign right now, though. I'll do that as a different video. I'm going to sign a plea deal that I made with the state of Colorado. I'll explain all that. Made a great plea deal with them, so. Don't feed the trolls. I like feeding trolls, though. You always got to feed the troll under the bridge. You need the troll to stay around. Every once in a while, the troll gives you a nugget. Every once in a while, the troll will give away something. I'm not talking about this case. I'm saying they give you a nugget. They give you a nug. You know what I'm saying? And so I always encourage. I'll block a damn troll too. And I made one. Is that Scotty freaking K or that Sandy K? Oh, I thought my buddy was on here. I was like, damn, I'm gonna be using his jokes. Down with the phone rocks. I need to read these comments. Put some positivity in my life. Y'all say something nice about me. I'm about to read them all. Okay, feed them if you must. Mike, how you roll? I like how you roll, Mike. That is why I watch you. Tell it like it is and go off on rant every once in a while. I like it. I like the rants. Thanks for all you do, Mike. You're loved and appreciated. I love being loved. Dad with the phone rocks. We need to get prepared Omar Fraze into the chat. Whoo, don't feed the trolls. That's why I watch. Mike, I would not worry about it. They have nothing better to do. Trying to stir up some drama and their sad lives. I know. I don't want to agree that somebody has a sad life. I know some people that have sad lives. You know, like when you do and see the things that I've seen, just even this week, man, you know, there's a school that lost some really good kids in a car accident just this week, or not this week, but here in Colorado. And to be able to go into that school with someone and watch life be breathed into students, that life and death, like, we all have been teenagers. We've all been kids, and we remember how vital that time was, or how vulnerable that time was. So understanding lame lives, these people behind the keyboard, they're trying to make it too. Don't get me wrong. Shoot, if I could sit here behind my phone all day and somebody wanted to pay me, I'd sit behind my phone all day and I would take y'all places. But I think proportionately that if people make if they make mad money and become famous from a phone, they have. You've seen it. We've watched it happen, right? Um, their lives almost take this downward fall. I have designed my life. I even told these reporters when I was doing this report, they were like, "Are you just, are you just having a great time and a thrill and all that stuff?" I said, "I think it's very important. I think it's a very important time in my own life to tell a story, to step behind the camera." But damn, I designed a life up here in Woodland. Y'all see? I mean, I live in the mountains, man. I live in the one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and I've traveled the planet and can say that. At least like livable places. There are some more beautiful places. Don't get me wrong. You can go back into the woods somewhere, and there's some more beautiful places. But one of the most livable places that is with beauty. And so, I don't want to screw that up either, right? I would rather continue to do what I've done for the last 20 if it will afford me where I'm at right now. But with that said, I enjoy the interaction with people. I enjoy the discussion with people. And I know that I don't live in a time when we can, I know I don't live in a time when we can sit around the fire and discuss this. Or do I? And that's the difference. Like, I think, and you guys that have watched okay, so you guys may be new to the YouTube, but I'm going to encourage you this. And I may have even put it on YouTube. I should have put it on YouTube. It was one of the most powerful live moments I had around this Kelsey case that hooked me. And it wasn't going to the courts. It wasn't the thrill of being foots away from a monster. It wasn't all the press. It wasn't the interviews. It wasn't, I've seen the best this place is going to bring. They brought out their best talking blonde. You guys, I didn't even know who she was until I couldn't even, the producer had given me a jacked up card. And so like I couldn't even Google them before I did an interview with them. And they're like the top dogs on this whole thing. And so it wasn't any of that. It was this moment I had on a Facebook Live when we did a moment of silence for Kelsey. And it wasn't the moment of silence that was super, super powerful. It was this collective ability that you and I are thinking and focusing and looking and we're focusing on something and we move something in the weird world. Like, I don't want to freak anyone out because there are a lot of different people that watch this channel, that watch my Facebook, that believe a lot of different things than I believe. But we had one common goal, and that was these positive thinking thoughts for Kelsey. There was a moment during this thing, it was more powerful than any extra spiritual thing I've ever been involved with. And I've been in arenas, I've seen the football, I've been to the mega churches, I've been to the big conferences where people or just billions fall out of their pockets, where people are moved by something in the supernatural, right? I saw that on Facebook. I saw that through a Facebook Live, which kind of freaked the shit out of me. But then there was this hunger, this intrigue drug for like going to search it out more. Like I want to search out more of those moments on YouTube. And the weird thing is then other people sent me messages going, Michael, I felt it. It wasn't fake. It was real. Like, and they could be trolls. They really could be trolls. They're feeding this stupid dad with a phone this idea. But the thing is even if those people didn't send me messages, nobody can ever take that moment away I had behind Kelsey's house in my Jeep. And a lot of you guys were with me on that moment. And a lot of you guys are just now joining going, damn, I missed it. Don't leave. Don't leave. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit get notifications, and join the next one. Because that's not going to be the end of it. Like, it has to be the right moment. I'm not going to try to fabricate these moments at the time in a video. Oh, let's all just focus our thoughts and think this. It will happen. Trust me, I'm going to search them out. I'm going to look for them. But I'm not going to fabricate them. It'll be a moment when, and maybe maybe in the comments or send me a private message or, I don't know, tweet, whatever you're supposed to do on YouTube to get a hold of me. I don't know if it's that way. On Facebook, you can send me messages. Go to my Facebook. I don't get all the messages because people send me a lot of stuff, but I try to glance at them all to see if I'm interested. So get my attention if you want to talk about like a moment you had on a Facebook Live with someone. I am interested about that outside the case of Kelsey, where people have moved something in the supernatural with a Facebook Live or a YouTube Live. I believe that to be possible. I'm not 100% sure why and how and when it'll work again or whatever. Haha, noticed y'all from Gray. Did Gray talk about me? So I guess I better just message Gray. Because I've been talking about Gray a little bit, only because Gray is like, he's like a better version of me. He like is a more sophisticated dad with the phone. Yeah, I pulled an Eminem. Y'all know that. I don't know who that is right there. I love it. You got to go at people like Eminem showed us that. Y'all didn't watch 8 Mile? You give everybody the stones they want to throw at you, and then you say, go ahead, try. Those have already been thrown. Somebody just messaged me a cool comment about it. They're like, you've just given them all the, you've given them all the ammo. And I was like, I know. And they ain't got a gun to fire. That's the best part about it. I'm just getting started. Like had I been doing this 10 years ago, I would have rolled you kids. You kids would be rolling right now. Had I started 10 years ago, I was too busy building other empires. I was building other people's empires. I built some empires, trust me. I've worked with the best. Ex-NFL football players to take their empire to the next level. You know, major authors. Major authors. So, like the idea that all of a sudden now, and that's what makes it fun for me, is like, dude, I got 10 years to go and we're all still babies. We're all still babies in the social media game. And so it's fun for me on this. Somebody just wrote me, they're like, you're feeding the trolls. No, I'm helping the trolls for sure. Like there'll come a time when that troll will say, he will say this conversation. And mark my words, trolls, you will say this. You'll be like, I trolled the underground when he first started. That's what you'll say. I trolled that dad with the phone when he first started. And that's not pretend. It could be 20 years from now. It could be 100 years. You may not even be involved, right? It could be after I'm dead and gone. People are like, that dude that lived, that dad with the phone. And I'm okay with that. And it might only be my children. So who knows? But thank you. Yes, I'm up. No, I'm not up at that late hour, Jen. I'm reading messages right now that have been sent to my Facebook pages because that's where folks like send me the private message. And like people were sending me fake info and they were saying stuff, and I'll screenshot that. I'm the king of mother effing screenshots. Especially, are you planning on covering any other cases, Mike? You know, I will talk about them, but I would rather talk about them with other people. To cover a case like I've covered this one's almost damn impossible unless it happens in Woodland, right? Although I did tell NBC, you know, if they want to send me to, you know, all these other places, I would totally do that. But I got to get me some, or maybe I need to boost up my donor population. I told people if someone wants to pay me $1,000, I'll go to the court cases. Well, damn it, you bastards paid me $1,000, so I got to go to the court cases now. And then I got to I'll get all the core shit. So yeah, but the problem with these cases is they're so fluid, and then they get to a point where they stop. Right? So now we're in a holding pattern with Kelsey's case. There's information coming out, and the media networks are creating gossip for us, which is what I like to look at is when I'm listening to that lawyer's interview, and I'm going to put up the lawyer's interview in full length, every part. I'm going to go rip all those parts. That's who I do rip off, by the way. If y'all haven't noticed, you can't put a video online that I can't get, okay? There's no encryption. There's no nothing. I can pull anything from any website at any time I want to, okay? I do not rip YouTubers' videos. I was being accused of ripping some bitches' videos earlier, and I don't rip your videos. If you create content content and you do your own content, do your own damn content. You can, with permission, right now, 100%, I'm the only mother effer from Woodland Park headquarters nationwide. You can rip any one of my videos. You don't even have to give me credit. How about that, bastards? Give that shit away. That's what the best do. They give away everything. And I'll give everything away. You can have this one. Sometimes they'll be branded. Sometimes they won't. But I don't rip anybody else's shit. But I do rip the news shit. So I'm going to rip all the news stuff. I'm going to put all the news stuff together so y'all can watch it in full. This is what I've learned from the new interviews that have come out. That meanwhile, while Woodland Park Underground was sitting in press conference 1, somewhere else in the U.S., there was a discussion happening about this case. That intrigues me. At the very moment that I'm feet away from Kelsey's mother in the Woodland Park City Council chambers, there are people hundreds of miles away discussing this case. That intrigues me. That makes me want to know more. That makes me want to go on a vacation to freaking Twin Falls. By the way, I was in Twin Falls not even a year ago. I was there filming a reality TV show called Megadex, DIY network. A guy right here in Colorado Springs, Colorado Custom Decks. They did the show Megadex, and so I was up there in Twin Falls. I got beautiful footage of the Twin Falls, the actual waterfalls and different things like that. It was a beautiful time we were up there. And so right? Someone in Tokyo. So again, that's kind of, there's intriguing stuff going on that way. So somewhere up in Idaho during that press conference, there was secret conversations happening. I want to know what those are. I don't think the news is going to give us those secret conversations. Maybe. ABC, CNN, NBC, Fox, I will go up there for any one of you bitches. Whoever writes the check. I'm $1,000 a day. You pay expenses. And I'll tell you what, I'm $1,000 a day. You pay expenses, and I'll give you a 20-minute film of whatever I find out. That's a pretty damn good day. That's a pretty. You can put a cap on me, 3-day minimum. If I got to get up there, it's a 3-day minimum. So any network out there, YouTuber, hey, you true crime mother effers. If y'all are really as big and as y'all say y'all are, if y'all are really the Howard Stern shit, Howard Stern once paid me $500 to be on his show for 30. I was only on there probably 20 minutes. I need to go find that Stern show. My wife, I had to do taxes and everything. So if you guys want me to go up there, I'll go dig this shit up. Don't worry about it. You know, I can go into a bar and just about have I know the breakfast place up in Twin Falls where all the locals hang out. So if you want me to go find that information out, you let the underground know. Any other cases, the same deal. I might even do it for $200 a day. Depends on how close it is. Twin Falls up in the middle of nowhere, and this shit, they got a lot of time between here and Twin Falls to take a brother out, you know. And so you gotta be careful. You gotta go the back ways. You gotta know the back ways. You gotta know the. Do I have a PayPal? My PayPal is michaeldalton2@mac.com. Yes, I have a PayPal, and yes, people been sending me money. It's freaking weird. I didn't even have to do anything except do what I'm already doing. That's amazing to me, actually. That's a whole nother intriguing thing. I talked to that news lady about this. She tried to come out. She's like, have you made any money from this? And I was like, hell yeah, I did. Somebody put $20 in my pocket the other day, and I didn't even ask them. Somebody sent me $50. Somebody sent me $100 through PayPal. It flipped the shit out of me. I told my wife, I was like, this is real money people are putting in my pocket to talk to my phone. Maybe I don't have to work for anybody. I talked one of my contracts, so I have a contract with some nonprofits, multiple nonprofits around the world. And one of my contracts, I was at an event and I got recognized. I got recognized as the underground, and I was like, some bitch. They've come after me before because I was the underground. I had a contract with the Broadmoor that they came after me with when I changed an election here in Woodland Park. And so instead of having to play catch up, I went straight to, it's a new contract. I was like, hey guys, I got to tell y'all about this. And if y'all get any phone calls or if the trolls come after y'all, I'm going to let you guys know about this. And so I let them know, and it's all good. They're like, what? They're like, whatever, you know, whatever. Nobody's going to come to us. I'm like, okay, cool. Oh, by the way, I just did an interview with a major network. What? So anyway, so like, if I don't ever have to take another contract and all I have to do is be the underground or a dad with a phone, are you crazy? I'm dreaming about that shit every day. Now, just because I dreamed one time that I was a freaking astronaut too. I dreamed that I was a cop. I dreamed that I was a fireman. I've dreamed that I was a lot of things. And none of those things ever came true. So, I'm still a hard-working American who pays taxes and still goes out and actually lives a life. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have something to do. You know what I'm saying? So, there you go. I'm not gonna beg for money, but I will tell you my PayPal account. It's Michael Dalton, the number 2 at Mac.com. The only problem with telling you that is I think I have to tell Trump now. And they may get me on tax evasion. I've been laundering money through PayPal for years. Shit. Now people are going to start being like, I donated to the dad with the phone at this PayPal. And Trump's going to be like, have we audited his PayPal? Damn. That's fun. It's fun stuff. See, y'all laughing now. I got y'all. Y'all know I'm just a jokester, right? This is all just jokes. I mean, that PayPal's real, though. That's a real PayPal. Y'all should check it out. Y'all are fun. Y'all are fun. You're good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad y'all are having a good time. Man, Oni. That dude, Oni, he puts his donators right up on the screen. That's old school shit right there. That's like televangelist. Hey, so I told somebody, oh, that's what I was. I told a lady, y'all remember the televangelist? Y'all ready to try something? Y'all gonna get freaked out now. If you're watching, let's try this for real. But we don't want to make light of this because we all might get zapped. But you remember the televangelist that used to teach they would tell the people to like put their hand on the screen? Put your hand right on the screen. Send me $100 and I'm going to cure you. I'm going to cure you what you're sick about. Listen, I grew up with these televangelists. My dad was head of security for Kenneth Copeland Ministries. My dad built a private police force that protected a man who made billions. Y'all know who Kenneth is. He's the original jet pastor. This dude had multiple jets at his... So when I'm making fun of these people, it's because I grew up as a kid. I learned how to drive on Kenneth Copeland's property, okay? I drove my first motorcycle on Kenneth. I drove my first truck on Kenneth. So I'm making fun of this shit because, by God, this is what I grew up with. So, do y'all remember? Put the hand on the screen, boys. I'm going to touch it and you're going to be healed in Jesus' name. I believe that absolutely works. I actually do believe that works. I'm too scared to try it for myself. I don't have enough of that crazy faith. But the other day, in a live video, I had everybody on the screen think and say the same things and kind of think about, pray about, worship about your same, whatever. If you want to worship the trees, the damn stars, a God, I don't care who you worship, the Jesus, the Buddha, the Mohammed, the Conor McGregor. I don't know which God you want to worship, but you worship whatever God you want to. Let's all just think a positive thought and see if we can move something. I watched it happen with my own 2 eyes. So I'm trying to work up a way how I can physically get you guys to all reach out and touch your phones or reach out and touch your screens and think the same thing. But I want to do it in a non-selfish way that we can all see something happen. So y'all think about that. We'll come up with something. We're going to have one of those right there. We are going to have one of those moments. And I know y'all think I'm crazy. I know y'all are like, oh God, he just went crazy on us. I've already been there, people. I was already there. Y'all just joined me. So, anyway, I saw it happen with this Kelsey case. So when someone asks me if I'm going to work other cases, is if I can touch into that power, if I can touch into that kind of, if I have to go back to another case and get you all to think about another case and that we can bring a positive thought to that case and I can feel the things that I felt in my Jeep the other night, you damn skippy, I'll be following other cases. If that's a roundabout way to get to that answer, I hope you followed along. What do y'all want to talk about? So y'all are just getting to know the underground on, y'all are just getting to know the underground because I don't do a lot of, you just got a puppy dog kisses from, oh yeah, I love the dog kisses. Karen CSI just laughed at me. I love it, right? She's like, is this guy for real? You know who I think trolls me the most, and I'm not 100% sure, is I think my mom trolls me. I think my mom trolls me through fake accounts on Facebook. Now, she never says anything bad, but some of the things people say to me that are super, super nice, I'm like, that can only be my mom. That's like such a nice thing. You're great. I know you're real. I'm not real. I'm imaginary. This is all just a game. I just thought of something. I want to try something. I'm just an imaginary person, I promise. Oh, I screwed that one up. Almost. Let's try that again. Gone with the Wind. Y'all see that new commercial? That worked perfect. See, y'all are laughing again. Real mix. That's right. She remarried. Laughing my ass off. Perfect. Not real. I vanish all the time. I found out, that people will scream louder when you don't say anything at all. Every once in a while, I'll go in and download my Facebook page. And I always want there to be a break. I don't want any new information coming that I miss. And so what? I will shut my Facebook page down. Damn near sent out the cops one time. I mean, the mayor's wife freaked out when my Facebook page went down. The judge freaked out. Like, I walked into an event and the mayor's wife came up and gave me a hug and was like, I thought you disappeared. The judge freaked out. The local judge that I can't say her name because I don't know her name because I always dealt with Bruce, Dismissal Bruce, but Dismissal Bruce is gone now. And then the new judge, that judge freaked out. And so every once in a while you got to vanish on people because then you find out like, wow, they love you or they hate you. Moms know everything. Don't even need to see. I just hear. Laugh out loud. Right? See, there's probably my mom. This is why Omar Fraze is involved. He just said that. He stole that from Oni. He stole that from JS for Justice. Omar Fraze. Omar Fraze knows something. She knows some shit. Mom knows something. Baby's mom didn't go missing, and mom didn't know nothing. Now, is Omar Fraze going to say anything? I don't think Omar Fraze has the same ethics as Omar Dalton did when she put Omar Dalton. When Omar Dalton put this Dalton in jail, I don't think Omar Fraze has the same gumption or the same integrity. 100% Jamie, Texas chick. 100% she knows. Jamie was on J is for Justice the other day, the Texas chick. She is from, wait, let me think if I don't remember. Lubbock, Texas, West Texas. I got some West Texas ties. My family's from Odessa, Texas. Yeah, Friday Night Lights. Yep, my family was in the movie. So there you go. What else? San Antonio. Yep, that's right. See, I remember, Jamie. See? I don't have a photographic. Omar Fraze doesn't recall that. Omar Fraze doesn't recall that. Boom. Let's see. Anything else about the case that we want to talk about? I mean, let's be honest. We are now in slow-mo. This is how, and so everything that comes out now, I'm fascinating. Thanks. See? That's not a mom comment. That's like a comment like, somebody called me fascinating today. You're fascinating. Doesn't it sound good to actually give good like feedback? Well, Quinny Q, you are fascinating. Can't wait for February 19th. So we've been trying to think about how we could do our own. So like all these, so I think what I'm going to work on, what I'm going to try to focus on, I'm going to still do live videos, but I'm going to produce something. I'm going to produce like the Woodland Park history up until the Woodland Park, like the Underground's history of this case up until the 19th. We're going to release that before the 19th. Now that I've said it on YouTube, so that's going to be a produced piece with like with news conferences and timelines and all that stuff. People think I'm doing this because of you. Actually, I'm doing this because of you guys. I'm not doing this for me, because that takes a lot of my ass work. Editing sucks. And when you're getting paid to edit other shit, and then other people, I'm editing stuff for other people, you know, and then when you're trying to do a piece for your own brand or whatever, it becomes weird because you have time, you don't want to edit. But now you guys have become like paying customers, and so because of awesome people like yourselves that donate to GoFundMe's or to, and then by the way, everybody bitched about my GoFundMe account. I don't know how much people donated there, but I haven't collected anything from the GoFundMe account yet. And I'm thinking about something very special to do with just the GoFundMe's money, because so many other people started donating to my PayPal. If you donated to the GoFundMe account, don't feel bad. Don't be mad. Some people were like, I wish I would have just known your PayPal. But I'm going to do something very special with that, because that's going to it's just going to be like a middle finger to everybody. You know, do you like to give the middle finger to people? Like when you're like, I'm giving you the middle finger in such a good way. Like, I'm not really going to give them the middle finger, but they're going to know it's the middle finger. You know? I like to do that every once in a while. Like, do something so good for someone. They're like, why did he do that why was he so good to that person? Because sometimes you got to give somebody the middle finger in kindness. So, anyway. But because other people have donated to my PayPal, and I don't even think it's a donate. It's like you gave me a 20, baby, because you didn't even tell me what to do with it. You just like, here's a 20, here's a 50, here's a 100, right? I'm going to do something special for you guys. So I'm going to give y'all a little produced piece from me. Now, that puts some pressure on me now, because we got a lot of content creators on here. We got a lot of people that do their own producing pieces. So I got to do something special. I'm up against the best in the world. I'm up against the Datelines, the NBCs, the ABCs, the Clayton Sandells, the Cannings. I'm up against all of that. And they won't be able to touch what the Underground followers will get. So that should be fun. That's something to look forward to before the trial. It'll probably be a lot of the same stuff you've seen, but it'll be done in a way you haven't seen yet. And so that'll be fun. Be fun. I'll take some of the most popular videos. I'll chop down the most popular parts of those videos, and we'll put a collage together, and we'll just give everyone a big middle finger. And then we'll start putting, as soon as February, see, now my game is on. Game on now. Like before, it was all play pretend. It was all pre-trial. It was all motions hearings. Now we're going into the pre-trial. We're going to the evidence. So we're going to turn up the notch on the content. You're going to see things that you can't see anywhere else about the Kelsey case right here on the Underground. And when someone says I stole something from them, I'm going to show them the finger. I'm going to show them the finger. Say, bitch, you didn't see that on CBS. I can tell you all the stuff I broke. I got NBC and ABC and all these reporters saying, well, you broke this story, you broke this story, you broke this story. I'm like, yeah, but they called me crazy when I called it a homicide. They said, you don't have the information. You don't know what you're talking about. Guys, the warrant was sealed. I couldn't just produce the sealed warrant. Soon enough. Soon enough. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if you got interrupted. You have to wear fancy underground shit to court. Brah. How do I look? I got an underground hat around here somewhere though, but I like my Colorado hat. You know, I got to get underground or Dad with the Phone just embroidered right into my hat. I know a guy. Oh, dude, I got to take this hat over to him and get him to do Dad with the Phone on the back. I know a guy. Come back tonight. I'll be back. I ain't going nowhere, Cindy. I ain't going nowhere. I might not even go now. Today's my day off. I worked 20 hours yesterday. Some bullshit. Paid for this week. Trouble in the house. Everybody always wonders why I go off camera. I have to give myself insulin injections. And so, you know, when you have to, you don't want to really, you don't do all that nasty on, or you know, I have to give myself truth injections every once in a while. You have to. It's not. I'm not diabetic. Didn't mean to make light of diabetes either. That was a dumb comment by Dad with the Phone. Y'all don't hold that against me, okay? So please. That was a dumb comment. I'm sorry. It's terrible. I should get off and delete this video. Move over to new live. What new live? What do you mean? Who's live right now? Jamie, are you live? Oh, I got you. Who's live right now that wants to talk the case? I'm tired of talking to myself now. All these damn comments I can't read. I do want a dang shirt. I know you do. Red lights. Do not text and drive. Man, I heard some crazy stories. Some people bake tomato brownies. Y'all need my address? No, somebody will poison my ass. If you'll hand them to me, if you're in Colorado, golly, I trust people too much. I'd be like, if you want to send brownies, you could send brownies to 1067 U.S. Highway 24, number 295, Woodland Park, Colorado, 80863. That's my real address, folks. Now, that's not going to... Don't send me a letter bomb, because that's the UPS people. Don't be getting Sue freaked out. Sue's... Let me tell you something about... Okay, here's another story. This one will get you. This is a funny story that happened to the underground. So, I've had a P.O. box here in Woodland Park for 12 years. I've had it with the UPS store, Sue. She's run the UPS store for 12 years, probably 13 years. 14, I think she's been going about 13, 14 years. It costs a damn lot of money. You can get a free P.O. box at the post office if you're from Woodland Park. I can get a free mailbox. It's not like it would have to come to my house. I use the UPS store because it's like the watering hole. I can go into the UPS store and I see people I love. Right? Because I work from home, like I could very easily become a hermit in my bedroom. But I do things intentionally, like keep a box at the UPS store, so that I go out and meet people in the public. Go out, talk to people, socialize with people, more than just on the screen, you know. And so UPS store has always been real good to me. Sue has been the best to me. And then one time, these sheriffs show up at my door, and I'm like, oh God. And it's El Paso County sheriffs again. It's not my first run-in with the cops, right? And the El Paso County sheriffs start asking me questions about a four-wheeler. Now, 6-8 months prior, maybe 10 months prior, I had bought a four-wheeler, or I had traded a four-wheeler for a dirt bike on Craigslist. And it wasn't an unusual trade. There was nothing like super suspicious about it to me. One, in Colorado, up until just a year or two ago, you didn't have to have a title for a four-wheeler or a dirt bike. And so I had multiple dirt bikes that didn't have titles and four-wheelers that didn't have titles. And so, like, it wasn't like when you go to do a car, you have to have a title. In Colorado, again, this was up until just a few years ago. Yeah. Up until a few years ago, you didn't have to have a title on your dirt bike or your four-wheeler. So I traded this four-wheeler for a dirt bike. And then I sold that four-wheeler. So this was over 4 years ago, because I actually sold that four-wheeler. And the same day I sold the four-wheeler, I paid the witch doctor who delivered, not the witch doctor, the midwife who delivered my baby girl. So I remember where that money went, right? So that's how I know it was over 4 years ago that this all went down. So the cops show up at my door, right? And they were asking me, who I was. And I was like, well, what is this pertaining to? And they were like, well, they wanted to identify me. They're like, you're Michael Dalton? I'm like, yes. And they're like, okay. And then they were like, and I was like, well, what do you want? You came here to my house. You know where I live. And the guy said, well, we've been looking for you for a while. That's what the cop said. And so then, they asked me a bunch of questions. I answered all their questions, cooperated with them fully. My son, my oldest son, was actually with me. And so I even brought my son out and talked to him. And they explained to me what had happened. This was a stolen four-wheeler, and they had actually followed it. Like, they had been tracking it for a year. And I was like, you put all this work? Whose fucking four-wheeler was this? Right? Because they said they had been tracking this four-wheeler for years. But they show up at my doorstep and asking me about it. I'm like, man, it's like 9 months ago. I've bought and sold more four-wheelers. One of my best longtime friends here in Woodland Park, Colorado, has a used motorcycle shop. So, like, I've bought and sold and worked and traded and done deals all over Colorado when it comes to four-wheelers and dirt bikes and all that stuff. But they explained to me what it was, and I cooperated with them. And then he says, well, and I said, well, you know what? I always take a picture of whoever I'm making a trade with. And I'm pretty sure I got a picture of this dude that I traded with. I got a picture of his license. And this is when I knew I had the upper hand. Now, understand, I'm trying to cooperate. I'm trying to cooperate with law enforcement, okay? But I'm wondering how the hell they found me. Because I had taken some certain steps to make sure that maybe my address, my physical address didn't show up when people search for me. So, like, I had taken some physical steps, legal physical steps, that even law enforcement wouldn't be able to search me out. And so what happened is they had gone to the UPS store. And this is how I know the UPS store, and Sue is one of the best business owners in town. And even though it cost me some money, I will always be a customer of Sue and the UPS store. So when I knew I had a piece of information, this takes me back to the guy's license, the guy's ID, the picture I took when I made the trade. He says, well, do you have that picture? I said, well, I probably have it on a hard drive. It'll take me some time to search it out and find it. And he was like, okay, will you do that? Here's my business card. Here's my set. I'll do that for you. I said, how did you get my address? And he said, oh, well, that was a whole nother story. He's like, you're a really hard guy to find. And I said, oh, really? Tell me about that. How hard of a guy am I to find? You obviously found me. And he was like, well, yeah, but we had to get a warrant. I said, you had to get a warrant to find me? What do you mean you had to get a warrant? He's like, well, we found an address to the UPS store, and we went to the UPS lady, and we said, and the UPS lady actually has my physical address. And we went to the UPS lady, and we said, do you know where Michael Dalton lives? And she said, yes. And he said, well, he keeps a box here. I know his physical address. And the police said, well, we need to get that. And what did Sue say? Well, you'll need to get a warrant. She's my hero. She's my hero. So they had to go get a warrant to search Sue's records to find my physical address that got him here. Now, I wasn't mad at Sue. I was like, man, Sue, you threw down with the cops too, protecting the underground. And so that's my physical address. You can, so if you just look up, if you didn't hear my physical address, you can look up, I'll tell you what you do. You look up the UPS store and you can send a package to them, and just to make sure it's addressed to the Woodland Park Underground, and they'll make sure that I get it. Any packages addressed to the Woodland Park Underground, I'm gonna call Rico. If you don't know who Rico's our bomb dog, our drug dog, our suspicious dog. I'm gonna call Rico, and I'm gonna let Rico search that package. Now, if it's just marijuana brownies, Rico's not gonna give a shit about my marijuana brownies. Mrs. Underground would be pissed if Rico found the marijuana brownies. If Rico finds a bomb, I'm going to send Rico to y'all's house. Sue gets a free underground hat. She should. She should. She's definitely going to get a free shirt. But I've been going for an hour. If y'all want to send packages, y'all send packages. Y'all want to send PayPals? Y'all can find me on PayPal. Y'all want to send GoFundMe? GoFundMe at Dad with the Phone. It's a picture of me and Patrick. Because I'm a vulture. Because I'm a dad with a phone. Uh-oh. Oh, Gray's here! Gray! Gray! Gray, when am I going to get on your show? Gray's, now I could go for another hour. Gray's in my show. I've been saying your name a lot, Gray, trying to get on your show. Because you rejected me after I did the true crime stuff. I was like, damn, I went on the wrong show first. You should come on sometime. All right, sometime. When? You want to do after February 19th? You want to be the first right after the court? Or do you want to be right before the court? You let me know, Gray. You want to be after the Dateline NBC air? Or you want to be before the Dateline's NBC air? Which one you want, Gray? I'm for you, Gray. You message me on the underground or send somebody, what's her name? Jay's got my number. We can do one before, then, and after. Shh. A two-parter. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, these people love you, man. They absolutely love you. They've been talking good stuff about you all the time. So they don't hate me. You might get some hate if you have me on your show. Oni got some hate. Jay got some hate. Gray hands in the, see, look at them. They're all happy. Now I gotta let this YouTube roll just because history's being written about Gray on the Underground channel. And so, tell me about Gray. Y'all give me secrets about Gray on my channel right now. Tell me some secrets about Gray. Does Gray, I think Gray's married because I've watched a few of his show. Freaks love Gray. Freaks love the Underground. You know how it is. I think, does Gray have kids? Does he have, is he a investigator? Does he talk gossip or is it all facts? Because I did watch a show where Gray was trying to find, he was doing something with Oni trying to find that missing woman. And I was screaming. I was like, man, I've been to that deserted place. I know exactly where that gas station is. I can tell you exactly what happened. But nobody responded, so I felt kind of left out. Good old, no gossip, laugh out loud. Graves K is built from Colorado granite. That's all. Is Gray in Colorado? Does Gray live in Colorado? Because if that's the fact, we just have to do a live show together. We got to go we'll go to a neutral place. Oh, he's in Oregon. Gotcha. But it's built from Colorado granite? I like Oregon. I got friends in Bend. One of my longest best friends lives in Bend. Know people in St. Oh, Clint Eastwood of the True Crimers. Ooh. So somebody told me they were the female Howard Stern, and now Gray's been dubbed the Clint Eastwood of the Crimers. Bend is awesome. Some similar environment. Nice. Yeah, my boy. I've been up there a couple of times. I got sleepy. I brought back some coffee from. I like Bend because we were in Bend, but it was only like an hour and a half maybe to the coast, or an hour. I don't know exactly. Maybe 40. I could be wrong. It could be 45 minutes. It wasn't very long, and we got over to the coast, and I had some Sleepy Monk coffee from some place on the coast. I still remember that to this day. And I brought coffee home. I brought some shirts home. I brought some Oregon wine home. I need to go back up there. As a matter of fact, my friends that live in Bend, they used to live in Woodland Park. And I tried to get them to stay here. It was a little smaller. They had a lot of friends up in Bend. So, but the rain up there and the weather, not as good as it is here. Let's see. Gray is facts and discussion that can bend a little towards gossip, but didn't go off the rails. Huh. See, I need somebody that doesn't let me go off the rails, because I try to go off the rails every once in a while. So it should be a good conversation. Well, we'll work all that out, and I'll be on Gray's show before, after, even in between. Who knows? I like to help the other people, so I may do a deal. Speculate reasonable on facts. There you go. Well, there you go. I think I watched a show where you guys were trying to figure out how far that gas station was from not Illuminati, alien theories. But aren't you an alien believer? Don't you believe in aliens? I thought that was what Jay said about me. Or Jay said about you. Oh, yeah. He said, yeah, I do. Tomato plants are legal in Oregon. Nice. Oh, he says, but I don't put them into theories. Oh, I gotcha. I don't believe in aliens, but I have explanations for my beliefs and not believing in aliens. But I could always talk aliens. We got a lot of alien talk out here. Michael, I put you on approved posting in our group. What? Look at that. People giving underground access to their Facebook groups. I didn't go off the rails with DOS. First of all, I had a very let me talk about that. I didn't go off the rails. I just wanted some investigation done there, because if it wasn't Patrick, like if Patrick wasn't involved, then I was just looking for the best alternative suspect, and the best alternative suspect was DOS. So even though I always said from the very beginning, the most likely person that kills you is the one you sleep with, you know, the person you're closest to. I said that from the beginning, and when I called it a homicide, I always called it was Patrick. But what I did say about DOS for sure got construed as I went off the rails. I might have got a little passionate, but let's be honest. If it wasn't DOS, or if it wasn't Patrick, the closest would have been DOS. And so, anyway, that's why I'm not with my wife shopping and buying whatever she wants. I don't know what Gray's talking about something. But anyway, my wife's shopping right now too. That's exactly where my wife is. All my kids are here. It's Monday. It's a day off, baby. They get Mondays off of school. You said the person you sleep with might kill you. Oh yeah. No. The one you yeah, exactly. That's why you don't go shopping with them, because that's when it'll happen. I'm with you. We're probably more alike than you think. I'm all about the facts too. I do want to know the facts. The problem is the facts are so fascinating. The facts are almost fiction. It almost feels like facts are fiction in this case. The fact that the underground was sitting in a press conference on December 5th when mom was pleading for her daughter, and thousands of miles, 100 miles away. See, these facts elude me. Hundreds to 1,000 plus miles away in Idaho, could have been 300 miles, I don't know. However many miles away in Idaho, there were conversations happening in secret. Oh my God, Crystal did it. She really did it. Her and her boyfriend did it. But these conversations happened before the press conference too. Those are facts. The facts. But these conversations happened months before the murder happened. Facts. That's stranger than fiction, boys and girls. If this thing goes to trial, can you imagine the facts we are going to get? 700 miles to clear up the facts on how far Woodland Park is to wherever the Idaho is. I'm just kidding. I can tell you how long it takes you to get there. I can tell you where you camp along the way. I can tell you what's happening in Green River, Utah. The facts. The facts. The facts of this case are so fascinating. I go to bed at night thinking about the facts. I wake up thinking about the facts. I think about the fact that this happened on my block. Holy smokes. I think about the fact that somebody just ran that light and I was watching them. Or the FBI staff out of Utah for Idaho, and then maybe Utah too. They went through, I mean, the quickest way to Idaho is from Woodland Park is through Utah. And if you leave, okay, so if you leave from here to Idaho, you're going to leave out and you're going to drive right past Patrick's house. So if Kelsey were going to go to Idaho, she would have drove right past Patrick's house. Why didn't she just drop the kid off there if she was going on a trip? Those are facts. So yeah, great. Let's make it happen. I got official shirts and stuff now. You know what I'm saying? You should put me on a big screen. I keep telling them I'm going to sell people shirts, but I got to call that guy. I got to make the order. I'm an idiot. I'm not a businessman trying to make money off this thing. Omar Frazee can't remember that. Can Omar Frazee just come on? I know what's going to have to happen now. Oh, wait. I have realized that you guys have ransacked my number, you trolls, and y'all have signed me up for some hotel stuff. So y'all send me all that junk mail, trolls. Golly, I can't believe someone has the time to go sign my ass up for some phone messages. Because I'm now getting phone calls from people. I'm like, damn, good thing I have a burner phone. This is a burner phone, people. I'm going to give me a different burner number tomorrow. That road is private property 101. Actually, it's a generally accessible road by the public. There's multiple properties down that road that are for sale. And those properties are generally accessible by the public for people to view for sale. Their road with a gate is private property. But the road itself is like it's a homeowner road. It's like they can say it's private property, but because the sheriff patrols those roads, that makes it generally accessible by the public. So people don't understand the rules of engagement when it comes to private property. So if the sheriff wants to go on your private property, they have to have a warrant. But if they want to drive down that private road to access someone else's property that they're patrolling, that means that road is generally accessible by the public. And that's why that road is a legal road to drive down. It's a legal road to sit on. Now, if the private owner files a trespassing charge against you, you may have to go to court and defend that trespassing charge. This particular thing happened to me one time, you know, where I cut through a private piece of property, a hotel. I mean, not a hotel, an apartment complex. And they have put up like 20 stop signs inside this apartment complex. And I intentionally just drove right through the stop signs. I even videoed myself doing it. I was like, this video is going to go viral. I even told people before the video, this video is going to go viral. And I drove through this, right? And I had to go to court. And I found out some stuff, you know, like apartment complexes that are generally accessible by the public. it's private property. But you can't enforce trespassing rules unless you've given the officers permission to be there. But you can't get charged with both. See, someone can't charge you with trespassing and running a stop sign on their property because their property is generally accessible by the public, or it's not. So all these legal jumbo rules when it comes to private property. I'm on private property, but because I have a city easement that goes through my property, people can walk through my property without permission along that easement. The city people can come and go as they please because that's an easement on private property. So does that mean I'm going to walk up private property where Patrick said this is a private road and a private property? Well, yes, that's a private road, but it's generally accessible by the public. Your private property as a fence is not generally accessible by the road. Now people are arguing that the airspace over Patrick's is private property. And I can tell you 100% with facts that the airspace is only governed by the FAA. I was there when I flew my drone. The sheriffs were all watching. I got video of them. I got drone video of the sheriff. I'm gonna put the portion of the video that never made it to Facebook will exclusively be let loose right here on YouTube of when I was at the private road and they had it blocked. And I was like, well, bitches, you can't block the air. And the sheriff come running. Whew, big boys. It was the young boys. It was the young boys. The young sheriff boys. You know, the pizza guys. They came running over. You can't fly that. And I looked straight at them just like I looked at that Colorado State Patrol officer the other day and said, don't give me a lecture. Get out of here. Get out. You don't lecture me. When those cops said you can't fly over there, I looked straight at them and I said, you don't govern the airspace yet. Make no mistake about it. I think we're going into an area where a cop can show up and say, if you don't stop flying that drone, I'm going to arrest you. But we're not there yet. They don't govern the airspace, okay? And so I was on a public road, on a public easement, and I was flying my drone, and I flew it right over Patrick's house. And I looked at Patrick's house, and I looked at the woods around Patrick's house, and I flew around circles around Patrick's house, and I'm still sitting right here screaming, hit subscribe on the underground. Private roads, private property, and private airspace. These are conversations happening all over the world right now for a lot of different reasons. But I'm going to release that video right now. I'm getting off here. I've been on here for hours. I've been on here for longer than an hour. There's another previous hour. You can go watch it all right here on the underground. Dad with a phone. Everybody needs merch. Merch. This, oh, merch, private property. That's a private road. You're fucking genius. You're so genius, woman. Whoever that was. Oh, gosh. We could come up with shirts all day. Just sayings that Patrick said. There's only going to be 2 shirts. There's going to be boom, private road, private property, and then we can put private airspace my ass. Ah! Anyway, that'll be fun. T-shirt, man, I got to call you. I'm going to email you right now.